This should have never happened. The circumstances around Rin's death are honestly quite contrived. Rin should not have died, so let's change that. As Rin jumps in front of Kakashi's Raikiri, Kakashi just barely manages to avoid impaling her. Good thing he did because Obito arrives immediately after and backs up his former teammates. Though it would not be easy to defeat over 24 missed Ombu, Obito's newfound ability to use wood style and Kakashi using his Raikiri making sure to keep it a safe distance from Rin, they would manage to defeat all the missed Ombu, after which the realization Obito was alive would finally set in and likely have Rin in tears as well as Kakashi. But before all the hugs and kisses could be shared, Rin would explain she can sense a tailed beast within her. She tells Kakashi and Obito that the Mist Village likely wants to use her as a Trojan horse to destroy the Leaf Village. Since they have no way of knowing when the tailed beast will break out of Rin, she would tell her teammates to kill her, but they wouldn't even entertain the idea and completely shut it down. But they were in a bad situation. Rin was a ticking time bomb, and having Rin die was not an option. After some brainstorming from Kakashi, he would likely suggest that they head back to the Leaf Village and keep Rin a safe distance away, after which they would notify the Hokage about the situation and they would have a handful of the sealing masters in Konoha fortify Rin's seal, completely sealing the three tails within her, or at least keeping it suppressed long enough for Minato to return from his mission and have it completely sealed within Rin, which he can undoubtedly do. He is the guy who did this and this. After this plan was made, Obito would finally separate from Guru Zetsu, also known as Toby, and say his goodbyes. Team Minato would head back to the Leaf Village, but little did they know, they had just ruined Madara's plans completely. Madara's entire plan to kidnap Rin and manipulate Miss Shinobi to kill her had just gone out the window. In fact, the original plan to make Obito really hate the world was for Rin to die by Kakashi's hands. The Mist Village Shinobi was just a formality, but Rin was never supposed to survive and make it back to the Leaf Village. Madara even placed a cursed seal on Rin's heart to make sure he could manipulate her actions and make sure that she actually died in front of Obito. But in his old age, the ghost of the Uchiha would taste the bitter flavor of failure once more. Team Minato would eventually reach the Land of Fire and they would make it a semi-close distance to the Leaf Village, at which point Kakashi would break off from his team and notify the third Hokage of the situation with Rin. After the third Hokage heard about the situation, the hidden Leaf Village was completely spoiled for choice on who would fortify Rin's seal. Jiraiya, Kushina, Orochimaru, and Hiruzen himself were all more than capable of keeping the three tails sealed long enough for Minato to return and work his magic. Once Minato did eventually return from his mission, he would detect the cursed seal on Rin's heart and remove it. And if the previously mentioned people couldn't perfectly seal the three tails within Rin, Minato would definitely do it, as I've said. The Rin situation was finally cleared up and everyone could finally turn their attention to Obito, who seemingly came back from the dead. Obito would explain to Minato and his teammates where exactly he's been for the last couple of months, and the revelation and the shock that Madara Uchiha was still alive would take the village by storm. Minato would immediately check Obito's body to make sure Madara wasn't manipulating him in any way, and he would find the cursed seal on Obito's heart and remove it. Since at this point the third Great Ninja War was honestly in its final days, this would allow the third Hokage to be able to lead a team of the Leaf Village's most powerful shinobi to where Madara was hiding. Madara in his weak and frail state wouldn't be able to put up much of a fight, and regardless of how many Zetsu were present, Minato, Jiraiya, Hiruzen, Fugaku, Orochimaru, and many more Leaf Jonin would destroy all of them and kill Madara, finally achieving what the first Hokage failed to do many decades ago. On the geopolitical side of the world, the Mist Village really got screwed over. Their really stupid plan to effectively hand over the three tails to Konoha did exactly that, and now their most powerful enemy just got even more powerful thanks to them. The Mist village would be forced to sign a peace treaty with the Leaf out of fear of potential retaliation for the plot they had schemed against the Leaf. At this point in the war, all the other villages had signed an armistice, and the Stone village was the only village left in the war against Konoha. The Stone village would still pretend to sign a peace treaty with Konoha and try to ambush their forces, but Minato would kill 1,000 of their shinobi and force the Stone village to end their war campaign, ending the Third Great Ninja War. Hiruzen would still quell all the villagers seeking revenge against the other villages by shouldering all the blame for the war upon himself and step down as Hokage. Minato would still be made the 4th Hokage, and it's at this point everything completely changes. Danzo would still manipulate Hanzo, leading to the death of Yaiko, but without Obito whispering in Nagato's ear, he would never consider capturing the tailed beast. And with Konan keeping him on the right track, the Akatsuki would still remain a rebel group solely dedicated to the Rain Village. Nagato would still likely decide to be edgy and call himself Pain, but no group of S-rank criminals looking for all the tailed beasts would ever be formed. He would still later kill Hanzo and take over the Rain Village, but Pain would never go out looking for revenge against the Leaf Village and attack it for various reasons, the first one being Minato, the second one being Hiruzen, the third one being the two-tailed beasts within the Leaf Village, and the fourth one being all the powerful shinobi that combined would definitely kill Pain. But back in the Leaf Village, the Nine Tails attack never happens. Minato and Kushina never die. Naruto gets to have his parents around, meaning the Uchiha clan is never under suspicion and sent to the outskirts of Konoha. Minato has a good relationship with the Uchiha clan. He would likely show more respect and trust to them than Hiruzen ever did, so a massacre would never happen, and the Uchiha clan would never even consider a coup d'etat because now they're actually being treated as actual people. With the Hyuga clan, I do think the Cloud Village would still try and fail to kidnap Hinata, but after which they would not make any demands. Minato's reputation alone would make sure of that, not even taking into consideration the two Jinchuriki as well as the Uchiha and Hyuga clan. Honestly, the Leaf might demand that the Cloud Village pay a fee for their underhanded tactics. Regardless, within the Leaf Village, Orochimaru is dead. Minato would never hesitate to kill Orochimaru after his experiments are discovered. He isn't like Hiruzen. Danzo is having a difficult time operating from the shadows and wouldn't be allowed to control Root to the degree he was allowed to by Hiruzen. Danzo might even be killed by Minato, but his reputation in the village might just barely save him from that. As the years went on, Kakashi and Obito would be Minato's right-hand men. Kakashi would be made captain of the Anbu, and Obito would be Naruto's Jonin sensei. Though Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't be on the same team because honestly, let's be real, they would be the two most powerful genin within Konoha by the time they finished the academy. They would still be rivals due to the relationship their parents have between each other. They would grow into incredibly powerful shinobi. Sasuke has Itachi, Shishui, and the entire Uchiha clan behind him. And Naruto has Minato and Kushina, which, believe me, is more than enough to make him a strong shinobi. The Sand Village's attack on the Leaf Village would never happen, obviously. The Mist Village would still have many internal conflicts, even more now, because Yagura was never made Kage, and the Kage before Yagura was way worse than him. The Cloud and the Stone would still have a lot of animosity towards the Leaf, but at this point the Leaf just seems to have endless, legendary and powerful shinobi, and even more are in the making. Any enemy village would be insane to attack the Leaf Village. Minato, after a decade or so, would likely step down to spend more time with his son and his wife, and maybe even have a second child, but we'll leave that to the side. Obito, thanks to some nepotism, would be made the 5th Hokage and the first Uchiha Kage. This would completely squash any bad blood between the Leaf and the Uchiha. Obito would be happy with Rin and had finally achieved his dream of becoming Hokage. But as is the nature of the ninja world, the nations would likely still end up at a war at some point in their future. And eventually the Otsutsuki, after many years, would come to Earth and kill everyone. You know what, maybe Madara was right about the diagnosis, not necessarily the cure, but he was definitely right. Maybe reality is often disappointing. The longer you live, the more
You will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering.